Okay, happy Thursday. It's July. Let's start on the floor. All stretched out, nice reclining position, hips stacked. Let's take one knee up and go for some reaches. And see if you can find a little bit extra mobility. I think we're going to stick with this one for a while. Kind of like what I'm feeling as I'm doing it and the challenge it poses to some of those muscles deeper down in the pelvis and in the hip area. So if you find yourself rocking all over the place, make the movement what you can do, and then see if you can make it a little bit bigger or a little bit better. And if you're already touching the floor on both sides without shifting your hips, then just keep doing this. It's good practice. I actually getting a nice slow burn right in my hip, which is not a bad thing for those rotators. And let's switch it over and go to the other side. And we'll do the same thing on side two. You might notice the difference from side one to side two, especially as you get better at keeping your hips stacked. It's normal, I think, for us to, we have a dominant side and a less dominant side. We have a tighter side and a less tight side. You might notice one hip wants to move a little bit better than the other or not. There we go. Nice. Do a couple more. Onto our backs. And keeping your knees glued together, arms out to the side. Let's do our windmills. Down one side and the other. Nice. One more. And then come back onto your back, tuck your knees in. And we're going to do our dead bugs the way we did them last month. Excuse my reach. If you have a yoga block or a squishy ball or something, it just makes it a little bit more challenging to hold that angle. Or maybe it makes it easier for your hand to reach your knee. But we're going to lock opposite hand on that knee and do our dead bugs. This is going for about 8 on each side. Try to keep your back nice and flat on the floor. Don't forget to breathe. And we'll switch sides, waking up the core. Here we go. Stretch it out. And 8. Good. Roll over onto hands and knees. Let's go right into our cat-cows. We're going to not isolate anymore this month. We're going to just articulate from your tailbone, rounding up through your mid-back, protracting through your shoulder blades, into a chin tuck, and then reversing it. Take your time with these. Make sure you're feeling all the parts of your spine that need to move. We're going to go for 3 beautiful full motion cat-cows. And then tuck under. And then come back to neutral spine. Let's wag our tails. Look over your left shoulder towards your left hip. Right shoulder hits your right hip forward. Side to side. Okay. And we have some bird dog variations coming up, so we're not going to go into that. Let's instead come down onto our elbows and stretch into a plank. And from here, we're going to go from plank to dolphin. So hiking your hips up, trying to bring your forehead down towards the floor, coming back to your plank. And then hiking up. 2. 3. 2 more like this. Okay. And from our dolphin, we're going to come into one last plank and hold it here. You can drop to your knees if you need to, but I'd like to see if you can keep it in a plank. We're going to do shrugs. So retract your shoulder blades, protract, retract, protract. 2 more. And then bend your knees and slide back into child's pose. Let your low back stretch and relax. Shift to one side. And shift to the other. And then coming back onto hands and knees. Let's take 1 foot forward so it's in line with your hand. Adjust my camera so I have a little bit more room to move on the floor. There we go. And slide your back leg back just a little bit more. And let's go into that groin stretch. Take that inside arm and rotate up. So we're going to get our rotations this way. Try to keep your hips locked. Rotate through your upper back. And then plant your hand down, stretch that leg back, bend that knee, straighten that knee. Your front leg is going to bend and straighten too, but focus on the back leg for now. And then focus on the front leg. See if you can straighten that front leg just a little bit more. And then with that knee bent, bring the back knee down. We're going to turn everything around. Actually, your leg is going to, I am inarticulate this morning. We're going to stay in this 90-degree position and add some rotations. So we're going to reach through and thread the needle. Last one. We're going to bring that knee down, come to the other side. So we're switching legs. The leg that was out to the side is now down. Back here, we'll do 5 rotations on this side. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to turn everything to the side and come into that groin stretch, keeping your knee down. We're going to press forward into the front knee. And then holding that stretch, 6 rotations up on this side. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bring that hand down, stretch the back leg straight. We're going to start with those knee drops. Just a dynamic way. Range of motion isn't critical right now. Just a dynamic way to wake up all these muscles. And let's see if we can straighten that front leg a little bit more. Make that movement a little bit bigger. Do 3 more like this. Holding that position, turn your feet and walk around to the middle and sink your legs down into a squat. There we are. And shift side to side. See if you can work into your ankles. Do a double shift onto each ankle. Pulse, pulse, and pulse, pulse. Good. And coming back to center, let's do 4 bottoms up. Sink it down, straighten your legs. 3, 4, bring your hands onto your knees, and let's drop shoulders, rolling side to side. One more set, and then roll it up. Let's swing our arms. And roll their shoulders. Take a big breath in. So our standing pencil stretch to crescent. You didn't do this on the floor. And bring your arms down. And let's make some hip circles. Alternating sides. Taking your knee up as high as you can. Take your time with this, see if you can feel that range of motion in your hip joint. Good. And then bringing your feet back under your hips. Let's prance it out. We have more plyo this month. So the key with doing this first set of plyo, if you're not jumping, focus on finding that springiness in your lower body and changing your pace where you can go slow to fast. That's going to help build power too. If you are jumping, let's try to work on our jumps. Going from slow to fast is essentially working on propulsion. So this week, and maybe all the rest of the weeks of this month, let's focus on getting the power out of your feet and propelling your body through space. So we're going to start, I need to write in a darker pen. We're going to start with our single leg hops. And then we're going to do our split squat jumps. It's not going to take too long. I don't want you to burn out all your lower body strength on this. You can hold on if you need to. I'm going to try not to. So we're going to start just trying to do single leg heel raises. Wake that calf up. And I'm starting non-dominant. So if you're wondering why am I so wobbly, that's the reason. So from here, we know we can lift our heels up. This. What happens if we add a little propulsion? And you can bring the other foot down from the landing, but make that propulsion. Use your arms, find the momentum. Okay. And let's switch sides. So we're going to shift over to our dominant side. This is all we're doing today for single leg. Notice if you can feel all your toes pressing into the floor. You have your weight across the ball of your foot. As you're lifting up, that you're not rolling one side or the other. And then let's shake it out and do some jumps. Focus on the propulsion. Bring that other foot down to help with the landing if you need it. Okay, shake it out. Gonna grab a quick drink. I think I'm hoping doing these drills twice a week with you will make us all a little bit more athletic, a little bit stronger, feeling a little bit more confident, whatever we encounter when we're outdoors and working. So let's come into a split stance. Your legs are going to be on railroad tracks. We're not doing tightrope. So let's find that springiness. And we're just going to do a jump from here. So we're going to go bounce, 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 lift, pushing off both feet. See how soft you can make your landing? We'll see if you can hear my landings on the video. And one more, we're almost done. Because now we have to do the other side. Same thing, 3 bounces and a jump. Nice work. Feels a little bit better when you're using both feet, right? Thought so. Okay, so we're gonna be standing and on the floor. Who was thinking? We need one weight, a heavy weight. I'm gonna take my 12-pounder. And we're gonna do chop to around the world. So around the world means our body. On Thursdays, we'll be doing it around our hips. We're going to do it around our head on Tuesday. It's called a halo. But what we're going to do is take straight arms, lift up, come down, and go around. Go the other side up, chop it down, and come around. I want you to think about keeping your hips stable. Your abs are braced and nothing is moving here. You're increasing the challenge on your core by moving the weight around your body, lifting it, lowering it, moving it around, alternating sides. You can bend your knees to brace yourself a little bit more. And up, down, around. You're saying, why are we doing this? You're not feeling anything. You need a little bit more weight. So either double up, doubling up and passing behind your back is not so easy. You can find anything heavy in your house to do this with that you can hold on to safely. Around, and around, and up. Good. I wasn't counting, but you did great. We are going to do, that's why I didn't have dead bugs before. We're doing, coming back to our dead bugs, but we're going to use a band. So if you have a mini loop band, sorry, next Thursday we won't repeat the dead bugs. But this is going to be a new and interesting challenge. So we're going to put it around our feet. So consider what we did earlier, the warm-up. With the ball, with your hand, doesn't matter. We're going to set up just like we did in our warm-up. But now we're also pushing against the band, and this is your strength work. So we're going to go for 8 on each side. Or don't let that other leg move. 2 and 1. And we'll switch sides. So get that arm set against your knee. Let's go for 8, 7, 6. I really feel that across my abs. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Good work. Let's come up onto hands and knees and just make some big hip circles. And reverse direction. So grab a drink if you need it. Moving into our strength section, we have 6 exercises. Some are right and left. I think it comes to a total of 9. 9 different movements we're going to be doing for 6 exercises. We're starting on the floor. And excuse me if I keep looking over here to look at my notes. We're gonna start on our backs. The first pair of exercises are on the floor. We're gonna do supine leg sweeps on your back, and then we're gonna roll over and do a push-up with a push back into a crouch position. And you'll see that when we get there. And today, let's go for counting, maybe 6 to 8 on each side and see how it goes. And we'll get through this multiple times. And my thought is when we're familiar with the moves, we'll go back to doing it per time. And we'll do 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off in between each move. And that way we'll get more work in, regardless of body weight or lighter weights, and get our heart rates up a little bit more. Which reminds me, I didn't set my watch. Okay. So let's come down on our back. Supine leg sweeps. I want you to think about tilting your pelvis down so your back flattens into the floor. We're going to take one leg up, sweep down and up. I want you to make this as big a movement as you can. 4, let's go for 8. 5, 6, scoop it down and up. 7 and 8, waking up those quads, switching sides, out and up. 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to roll over. And if you're doing this from your knees, it should work too. We're going to do a push-up and then crouch back. So no push-up, no knees. It looks like this. If you're on your knees, you're still going to rock back and do your push-ups like that. And let's go for 6 to 8. Let me see what you guys are doing. Rock all the way back towards child's pose or into a crouch. Nice. It's a little bit harder because your hands are right under your shoulders or right by your chest. Nice. Not easy. And then we're going to come up to standing. Okay. We're going to do a pulsing lunge to a curtsy. So back to a lower body drill. Pulse, pulse. You're on railroad tracks. Come up and curtsy. That's 1. Pulse, pulse to a curtsy. That's 2. To a curtsy, that's 3. Next time through, we can grab weights. This is just getting used to the moves. So there are things we haven't done before. Let's try 2 more. Good. Shake out that front leg. Nice work. Setting up for side 2. Pulse, pulse, and over. 2, 3. Trust that front leg. Nice. Last one. And then we need a pair of light to medium weights. Take your legs out. We're going to start palms out, elbows up. Okay, We're gonna bring our hands together. You can crisscross. And then as we lift up, we're gonna punch out. So your palms down. So we're starting crisscross and then straightening your arms, rotating the palms down. Crisscross. Good. Nice. Let's do one more. If you remember to change arms if you're crossing, doesn't matter. So we're through 4 of the exercises. We are going back to lower body. Excuse my, I'm referencing my notes. I didn't work on this weekend. I worked on this yesterday afternoon, and I love it, but it's not in my head yet. So we're going to come onto our backs into tabletop, and we're doing leg extension circles. So first round, we'll start doing everything from the floor. Second round, absolutely, we can do it from a bridge. If you need more challenge, want more challenge. So taking one leg up, point that circle, point the toe, and let's do 4 circles in one direction. 4, and 4 the other way. Bring that foot down, take the other foot up, 4 circles. And then reverse direction. 2, 3, 4. These are nice and controlled circles. The control becomes even more important. You can stand with your knees tucked in on your back if you want. Those are, we have one more move, and then we'll go through it all over again. Nice controlled circles. If you let gravity win, you're missing out on the power of that move. So we're going to go for medium to heavy weights for this next move. We've done rows from a plank. We're going to try doing them from a hover. So we're going to set up in on hands and knees, curl those toes under, and lift your knees up. You can take your feet a little bit wider for more stability, and we're going to row. Still for 8 on each side. This is 15 and 16. You do you. When you're all done, come into child's pose. And I apologize if you hear water running. The faucet for the sprinklers for the yard is right outside this room, and they insist on using it, even though I've asked them not to. It sounds like a waterfall in here. So if it sounds like I'm shouting, it's because I can't hear myself. Okay, so those are our moves. Let's go through them again. So coming onto our back, we start with our leg sweeps. So starting one leg up, you can do this with your ankle flexed, ankle pointed, or find the mobility in there. It's good for your ankles. We are going to sweep down and up. 2, 3. Let tension in your leg as you're doing this. Don't let gravity win. And then we're going to switch sides. Scoop it down and bring it up. Down and up. 4, 6. Looks good. We're gonna have quads of steel after this. After this month, doing a lot of quad work. So let's come back and do our crouching push-up. We're going for, let's try for 6. So push up, crouch it back. Push. When you're all done, beautiful, drop your knees, come into child's pose. And I'll meet you up in standing. Grab your weights. You want to have some additional resistance. We're going to do our pulsing lunge to a curtsy. So with weights, you have your weights here, here, here. Doesn't matter. Pulse, pulse, and cross. 2. 6. 7. Last one on this side. Shake that leg out. And let's go side 2. Pulse, pulse, and cross. 2. 8. Take it out. Let's bring our arms up. Crisscross. These are called walnut crusher servers. I'm not sure why. Let's put the weights down. Bring your arms out and come on down to the floor. Try doing our leg circles from a bridge position. A little more challenge. So we're gonna go for 3 or 4 in each direction. So get settled in. Press your back into the floor. Inhale to prepare. Exhale and lift. And then let's bring one leg up and do our circles here. 2. And then around again the other way. What we're looking for, if you're in that bridge position, is keeping your hips level. It's not how big the circle is, it's how big you can make that circle without your hips dropping as you bring your foot around. So while your leg is moving, your upper body and your hips are completely still. Well, as still as they can be. And when you're all done, cut your knees into your chest. And let's roll it over. We'll do our hover rows. So again, let's go for about 8 on each side. If you need to bring your knees down, bring your knees down. That still counts as a row. So Cover and roll. 2, counting to 16. Good. And when you're all done, child's pose. We'll take a minute here, grab a drink, stretch out what needs to be stretched, and then we'll go through everything one more time, and then add a stretch. Feeling it in the quads. So let's come back down. Let's look for our leg sweeps. By not controlling your leg, don't let gravity win. So that's where you lose it. So gravity winning looks like this. You let your leg drop. I want nice control to push out and bring your foot up. 4 on each side. 4, 3, back is staying nice and still on the floor. And switching sides. 1, rolling it over, doing our crouching push-ups. Setting up for your push-up from your knees. Looks like this, like you're going back into child's pose. Not too different from what we did way back, where we lowered ourselves and then pushed ourselves back. This time you're pushing yourselves up also. And when you've done 6 or 8, whatever your number is today, come into child's pose. Stretch your back. Come on up to standing when you're ready. Some weights. And we have our pulsing lunges. So pulse, pulse, cross behind, curtsy. 2, and for 8 on each side, nice. Out. Set up on side 2. And let's hit it. And cross. 2. And 8. 90-degree elbows. Shake those legs out. It's okay. Press and reach and punch. Nice. 8. Last one. Bring that down. Swing your arms out. Coming back to our bridge with our circles. Meet down on the floor. Never any rush. We're very early today. Here you go. So that's everything's railroad tracks, hips, knees, and ankles. We're gonna press your back into the floor so your pelvis tilts. Inhale, exhale, and lift. Take one leg up. 4 controlled circles, one direction and then the other way. And lower it down and switch sides. Two, again, the focus is keeping your hips level. And 1, bring it down. If you don't keep your hips level, it starts to look like this, where you could make a bigger circle and keep your hips level. But if you can't keep your hips level, you need to keep that circle smaller. So let's come on to hands and knees. We'll do our last round of hover rows. And also with this, I noticed myself rocking quite a bit. There's always a little bit of side-to-side movement because you're pulling a weight on one side. You want to try to stay braced through your whole body. So you can take your feet a little bit wider and your knees a little bit wider. Come up into your hover. Hold everything tight. Squeeze those glutes. Brace those abs. And we'll do our very last set. Eight on each side, 16 total. Rock back into child's pose. And we're going to come onto our bellies. That's our change. My camera again. There we go. So we're going to do a scorpion stretch, not a yoga scorpion, anything. You're going to have your hands by your shoulders, and you can push into them as you need to. We're going to take one foot up and reach back as far as you can, opening up through that front of your body. Come back down and reach over to the other side. And we're going to go side to side 4 times each way. Take your time with this. Enjoy that stretch. We don't often stretch this way. Reach, reach, reach. And reach. And just for grins, let's come onto our backs and take our arms up over our heads, kind of like this pencil stretch, but we're not stretching per se. Just want you to be in this position. Find your back on the floor, check that your ribs are down. You can take a big breath and you're not arched up or flaring. Let's take your right leg up. Let's imagine you are paralyzed from the waist up. That would be terrible. Just imagine you can't use anything in your upper body. Let's take that right leg up, cross your body, and let the weight of your leg and your hips pull your body over into a prone position. To get back, we're going to lift that right leg, You can use your left leg too, but reach, 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 and pull your body back over. So we're rolling over using just your leg, the weight of your legs and your hips, and your core. But we're not using your arms. There you go. And if you feel like you're flopping and your legs are crossing and your arms are crossing, perfect. Good. Let's go the other way. Let's take that left leg up and roll over the other direction. Nice. Check in that you're not trying to push off your arms. It's tempting. Not as tempting as what we're going to do next, which is coming back to our pencil position, but imagining we can't use our legs at all. So we got really good in a really short time using our legs. Our legs are heavy, our hips are heavy. It's just we got the biggest bones and the biggest muscles in our body, in our lower body, makes it easy to roll. We're going to try doing it with just our upper body, and this is a little trickier. So to do this, I shake my legs out to make sure they're loose and not holding tension that's trying to help me. We'll take our right arm up, reach across your body, but then you're going to lift your head, neck, and shoulders and look down at your left armpit and check that your legs are nice and loose. And you would roll yourself over using just your arm and your core. And then to come back, we're going to lift that arm up. Look at the elbow and pull yourself over, and that is the super hard part. Nice, Alex. So if you can get yourself over one way, bravo. If you can get yourself over both ways, bravo. Let's try the right arm again. So reaching up and over, looking down at your left armpit. It helps if both arms start over your head behind you. There you go. So you're not trying to roll over your shoulder. And then take your right arm up. There you go. Nice. And let's go the other way. Left arm. Look down, lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Look down at your right armpit. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can with that left arm. There you go, there you go, there you go. It's harder. You did it. And then look at your elbow and come back. So if you want to play with this, for upper body rolling, I'm not worried about the lower body rolling, but I think we'll come back to the upper body rolling. It is helpful maybe if you put a pillow under one side, give yourself like a little prop, a little start so you get used to what the feel is, and then we'll work our way back down to doing it on the floor. But I'm proud of you for trying. So while we're on our floor, let's hug our knees in. Let's make little circles. Let's use our whole body. Everything's moving except maybe your head. And then let's straighten the right leg and hold the left knee with your right hand. And we're going to cross our body and do a nice big twist. And then come back to center and let's set your left ankle on your right knee and let's butterfly that left knee, open and closed. Should be feeling pretty open and loose after everything we did today. There's a lot of mobility tucked into everything we did today. So let's keep that knee pressed away and twist down to the right, keeping that left hip nice and open, knee pushing away from your body. And then come up and we'll switch sides. Left leg goes straight. We're going to reach for the right knee and twist across your body. And look to the right while your knee is going to the left. Take some deep breaths here. Stretch through the rib cage, through your sides. then come up onto your back again. Cross your ankle over your left knee. Let's butterfly that right hip. And keeping that knee away from you, let's twist down to the left. Nice big open stretch on that right hip. And let's reach behind our legs and roll it up. Let's come into a Z set. And let's reach across and then up and over. 3 more times across and over. Oops. Up and over. And then you can tuck your feet in a little bit more. Let's see if we can switch over to the other side. And then back again. Over to the other side. And back again, last time I promise. And over to the other side, beautiful, nice. And let's stay on the other side. So let's reach across and up and over. That was really great. Reach across. Over. Last one. Reach across and up and over. Come onto hands and knees. Just thread the needle and sink back into child's pose. Bring your head down to the floor and your hips down to your heels. Let your back stretch, let your shoulders stretch. And let's switch sides. And then back on hands and knees. Run through cat-cow. Find that mobility in your spine. And then rock back onto your toes. So we're in a little frog splat. And let's press our hands into the floor and our heels down into the floor. And roll it all the way up. And I think that's it for this morning. Nice work. We'll see how the workout evolves. If you have feedback, give it to me. This was a little bit different, a different approach. We'll play around with it, maybe for reps, maybe for time. Maybe we'll mix things up, seeing how they feel. If you're missing something, want more of something, want less of something, reach out to me. But otherwise, I will see you guys on Tuesday. So have a good weekend.